I got a prediction for you today. We know we're in a recession, even if the government won't acknowledge it. We know that the feds have hiked up rates. We know inflation is tearing down the dollar, and we know that banks are starting to fail. I'm going to give you a prediction on what's going to get hurt next. In the banking sector, I'm going to tell you right now, it's the game of commercial real estate. It's over $500 billion that's about to get swept up in the market. For commercial, their time is running out. So today we're talking about commercial real estate and whether or not it's going to get hammered. I'm going to make some bold predictions today. There are different sectors of real estate. You've got single family, you've got multifamily, you've got the flippers, you have the people in development and land development that are getting hosed right now. But what about commercial real estate? Because I own my fair share. I like buying this stuff. But what's going to happen to it? So up until now, commercial real estate kind of has been the perfect investment. And I'm going to tell you, there's a bright side as a bonus that I'll share at the end of this video, but there's a lot of bad news. Check this out. Many fortunes have been made investing in commercial properties. In fact, the US commercial real estate market is worth over $20 trillion, or a whopping 5% of total GDP. However, after decades of easy, low-interest credit, the good times may be coming to an end for commercial investors, and it begs the question, should you actually be buying commercial real estate? Should you look to increase commercial real estate in your portfolio? Or are you going to look back in 5 or 10 years and say, that was an awful investment? So my predictions today are based on 3 different market forces on what's happening in the commercial arena. The first warning sign comes from low liquidity. The second one, we're going to talk about the death of office space since the pandemic. And then we're going to talk about something most people are ignoring, the short sellers. So CNN Business has been reporting on the liquidity issue that banks are facing right now. And if it ends in the commercial space, what's it actually going to do there? Since most commercial property owners use small to mid-sized banks for financing, the recent bank runs and collapses have had serious effects on commercial landlords. Tightening standards for new loans means that buying into a commercial property is likely going to become more difficult and likely less lucrative. And I'm going to tell you right now, trying to make financing on a commercial space works, it is very interest rate driven. And if you have banks that start reflecting on commercial saying, hey, we're actually at risk in our portfolios, we need safer investments, or for whatever reason, we're going to tighten up our belt straps, we're going to make it harder to get financing on this, that always means one thing. They're going to punish you with a higher interest rate. And when you start squeezing those interest rates, it becomes harder and harder for a commercial building to find a business that's willing to pay those rates. Look at what's happening in the residential space. We, over a year and a half ago, had people fighting tooth and nail to get their hands on a property. People were outbidding each other. They were bidding the price up. And right now, it's a little bit more of a ghost town because the Fed has increased the interest rate so much that as real estate values have gone up and interest rates have been jacked, that's like doubling some people's mortgages. What do you think is going to happen in commercial? And if commercial represents 5% of nationwide GDP, I mean, this is bad news bears. And guess what? We're now talking about the death of the office space. Like post-pandemic world, we got used to working from home. Companies have been way more flexible, and now they're saying, come back to work, and guess what? Guess how we're responding? Why would I do that? This was actually great. This provided me some relief. I love this. And now you want to put me back in the cubicle? I don't think so. As the work from home trend continues, even after the pandemic has ended, the office space sector faces a projected $500 billion loss in value over the next few years. In addition to this, retail space also faces a similar decline in value thanks to Amazon. Our whole world's gone virtual. And what it means in the real world is that real estate is ultimately going to suffer, and commercial is 100% included in that. And the third reason for this prediction comes down to this word, short sellers. It may not be familiar to you, so let me enlighten you. A short seller is a person who borrows a stock from someone else, sells it today betting that the value will drop, then buys it back later and returns it to the original owner. Short selling is a common market tactic to profit off of falling prices. And as of right now, real estate is the #1 most shorted industry in the world and #3 in the United States. Commercial properties are definitely at the front of this trend and a warning bell for potential losses to come in the near future. When commercial isn't working for a lot of people, what it means is the prices are going to drop, people are going to get hurt, someone's got to clean it up. And my buddy Dolph is going to do that. There is a bright side to the amount of opportunity that creates. Just like in residential real estate, when a whole bunch of $500,000 homes go back to the bank, if someone, an investor, comes in and buys them for $200,000 or $300,000, one man's trash or poison, or I'm going to take you down financially, or bankrupt road is actually going to become a really great financial opportunity for someone else. That will absolutely also exist in the game of commercial, but as a whole, it definitely smells none too good. And here's the good news. There's definitely alternatives to the game of commercial real estate. You should ask yourself, what sectors in real estate are actually going to win based on the fallout and what's happening in the economy? Residential real estate offers tax benefits and cash flow, but without the same drop in demand and financing. Stocks and bonds will likely suffer similar to commercial real estate from inflation and bank troubles. You could buy into hedge funds and other short-selling entities, but that's still a risky bet in a volatile market. I'm going to tell you right now, we are still missing over 4 million homes and counting in the game of real estate. And the only reason why we've seen a pause is because the Fed has increased those rates. When they get inflation under control and the Fed drops those rates, I'll give you this prediction. The price on real estate, single family homes, is going to soar, and it's going to go through the roof. And there's something that you can do to get ready for it, because out of 324 markets, there's 5 places where I specialize in buying single family homes where I'm getting higher ROIs right now in this market than I have hands down ever gotten before. If you want to know what those markets look like, pay attention. Would you agree with me that the market is rapidly changing? Times are changing, banks are changing, and I'm going to tell you what used to work financially is also changing. In fact, the old ways are dying. This whole idea in 1980 that the government supported the rollout of tax benefits on something like a 401k, that was a joke. It was never going to be sustainable. Saving a few $100 a year for putting money in an IRA, that's your CPA's best advice, is an utter joke. The S&P 500 is losing its 30-year average because more and more people are not trusting the stock market. That's how people used to become financially free, and the truth is, statistically, it never really worked. There's a reason why the way I invest in real estate on the lowest, most conservative side outperforms the market 27-1. So instead of winding up with hundreds of thousands at retirement, we're now talking millions of dollars. And if you want to get a fresh perspective, you have an opportunity to get a free game plan. I've trained 40 people in my company that if you click the link below to basically say, what might Kris do if he were you? Because right now you either have good credit or bad credit, a great paying job, you're either getting ahead, you're getting behind, you have put some money away from retirement or you haven't. You might be starting in the hole like me when I started with nothing to become a multimillionaire. And whatever situation you're in right now, there's a link below where you can request a free game plan. The cost is free $99. That's a cute way of saying it doesn't cost any money. And the reason why is because I believe that the financial information I'm going to give you can be so life-changing that if you like what you hear and you like the track record and you like what you see, you might decide that I'm a company that you want to saddle up with, go buy some real estate with, and go make millions of dollars with. And you know what? That's worth me giving you a very valuable free gift, a fresh perspective on what I would financially do if I were you. So if you want to put a little bit of Kris Krohn in your back pocket, talk to a member of my team. All you got to do is click the link below and just drop your contact information. We'll immediately be in touch with you. And let's see if we can help you make more of this stuff. Kris, how does a person actually make money that way? And I keep hearing this notion that money in real estate can be passive, which means I can focus on my career or my family. I don't have to put time in, but it actually makes me money. Like, how does all that actually work? And if you want to know, click right here, watch this video, and let me show you.